industry that there's no effect whatsoever in regards to the operation of the nuclear power plant, because the defense in depth kind of design that are applied in the nuclear power plant will not allow any kind of radiation. These are just stakeholder engagement that we have undertaken with the International Atomic Energy Agency, the US, for purposes of ensuring that people are brought on board. Now, in terms of accidents, which is also critical for me to be able to demystify, when you look at other sources of energy and the number of accidents that are associated with those energy, looking at this particular graph, you can see the gas, the oil industry, and the coal industry lead in the number of accidents, with the oil having about 400 cases of accident happening with those industries. The nuclear power plant, you can see, almost zero. There are only 3 accidents that have happened within the nuclear industry. So I can assure you of the safety of the design of the nuclear power plant in regards to incidents that happened. So ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to invite our gracious lady to take us through the soft skills and the benefits of the nuclear power plant. Over to you, Dr. Winnie.
Good morning. I want to acknowledge all the protocols that have been established and say that I'm very honored to make the presentation on the benefits of nuclear to you, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and my seniors at the Ministry, our bosses, CSPS, and our chairperson. Nuclear has a lot of benefits, and this is the benefit that we want to present to the people of Siaya. I want to start by showing the kind of benefits that the country is currently experiencing. We have nuclear technology investment in the field of health, where our various hospitals at national level and county level are using nuclear technology for cancer diagnosis and treatment, and it is saving a lot of lives. We also have nuclear technology used in food security, and we use nuclear techniques to do seed irradiation that comes up with new varieties of seed that have higher yields, and they also are resistant to pests and diseases. And this means that we are also working towards food security using the nuclear technology. The University of Eldoret has done a lot of significant work in this, and we have new varieties of wheat, new varieties of rice, and also the foliage for cattle. And this is really enhancing the output for the farmers. We also have nuclear uses in water resource management, and this is the use of nuclear techniques to be able to assess the quantity of underground water. And when this assessment is done, the country is better able to plan for the water usage. As we know, water is significantly important for our daily use. So it's important for the country to be able to plan ahead and be able to understand the amount of water underground and therefore plan for it. The figure that is below shows a technique that is called non-destructive testing that is currently used by the Kenya Bureau of Standards to be able to understand the elemental, the composition of various elements. For example, if we have a leakage in the oil pipeline between Mombasa and Kisumu, Kenya Bureau of Standards will use non-destructive testing to be able to assess where that crack could be and be able to repair it without damaging the pipeline. So there are various uses in Kenya, and we want to enhance this usage by introducing nuclear power. So nuclear energy is also very efficient in land use. And here I want to demonstrate okay. Sound, please. Excuse me. Sound. So this, the picture before you demonstrates the efficient energy use of nuclear energy. If we want to invest in a 1 gigawatt nuclear power plant, which is about 1,000 megawatts, we require about 81.5 acres to be able to do this investment. The comparison for solar and wind is on the screen. For solar would require 100 times more, and that is about 8,152 acres of land. For wind, it is even more significant. It's about 500 times more. As you can see, it's about 40,760 acres just for 1 gigawatt of electricity. And this is not to say that this investment should not be done. Nuclear is actually a complement to solar and wind because we have to be able to harness these energy resources as well. But there must be a good balance between the technologies so that we are able to efficiently use the land which has got very many competing uses. So I want to discuss nuclear benefits at the macro level, and the first one is energy security. We need our energy to be secure. We need baseload electricity to be able to power our industries 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And nuclear presents the opportunity to do that because nuclear has an availability factor of 99%. Availability. And therefore it means that we shall be able to secure the energy that we need for our operations. Nuclear program also presents a high upgrade of our industries because the nuclear technology requires very high levels and standards to be brought in. So when we make an investment in nuclear, we will have to upgrade our industrial production to be able to meet the international standards required for input into our nuclear power plants. And this will enhance the quality of supply from our industries because there are no shortcuts in nuclear. We must be able to meet the global standards at all times. At the macro level again, we shall be able to enjoy lower electricity prices. And why is this? A nuclear power plant is currently designed to operate for about 60 years. With a life extension potential of another 20 years. And again, this could also be extended by another 20 years. So one nuclear power plant could actually operate for about 100 years. And within about 20 years of investment, you should be able to recoup your capital investment. So the rest of the 80 years, the country will continue to enjoy lower prices because the operational cost of a nuclear power plant are very low. Again, my colleague Engineer Ohaga has talked about the climate resilience of nuclear technology. So we want to ensure that, as our CS and PS will rightfully say, we are building a climate resilient grid. And so we want to bring into the grid technologies that will enhance our future into ensuring that we do not have impact of climate change in our system. Macro level. This is at the local level. The people of Siaya will enjoy a lot of infrastructure development. Nuclear power plant must have very good systems of being able to transfer services and goods into the nuclear power plant, and therefore we will have good roads, good hospitals, enhanced hospitals, because we must be able to manage any radiation aspects and any other illnesses that could come, but not from nuclear power plant, but everywhere that we have gone, the infrastructure within the nuclear power plant is always enhanced, especially because of the supply into the nuclear power plant. Again, job creation. I want to give an example of investing in 1,000 megawatt nuclear power plant, for example. That would require permanent jobs of about 1,200. Those are permanent jobs. And there are so many other indirect jobs that will come from the supply of the nuclear power plant. Nuclear plant owners will live within the area and they'll bring their families. Can you imagine the economic activities that will be generated from that? And so that will present a lot of job opportunities, both directly and indirectly. Emergency and security preparedness for nuclear power plants is super. It is one of the best in the world. And so the infrastructure for security and safety and emergency preparedness for any community that hosts a nuclear power plant will be highly enhanced. And this is infrastructure that can be used for any kind of calamities, not just what would be anticipated. What about housing? I know the government is putting a lot of investment in housing, which is great for all of us. But when this nuclear power plant is built, there will be a lot of requirement for housing. So the people of Siaya, you should be ready to have investments in this kind of infrastructure, because there will be the need for housing, right from construction and throughout the 100 years that I have talked about. So significant opportunities for investment in housing, and this will be high-grade housing projects. As I'm almost coming to an end, I want to talk about the importance of nuclear in coexisting with the ecosystem. This first graph shows the Korbeg nuclear power plant in South Africa. It has a capacity of 1,800 megawatts. But can you see their wild animals? You can see the gazelles and zebras grazing next to the nuclear power plant. We are very proud of our geothermal power plants in Olkaria because you're also able to see wild animals even when you visit the power plant. And this is what we anticipate. Nuclear plants are able to exist with the ecosystem. Wild animals and people will not be harmed. And you can see the fish because we are also within an area where fishing is very key. When nuclear power plants dispense the water after cooling, the water is a little warmer, but it is regulated to ensure that it does not affect the ecosystem. But because of the warm temperatures, there's algae that forms within that area, and fish love that. They will go there to feed, and we have seen cases, especially in other international countries that have the nuclear power plants, the fish population around nuclear power plants actually blossom. They increase because of that warmth that provides very good environment for the increase of the fish. And then the enhancement of education through research. We are currently in an educational organization, and JUST actually has a great opportunity to enhance the research and development because of hosting the nuclear power plant within Siaya. So I just want to show a case of Korea. Korea invested their first nuclear power plant in 1978. Our current GDP per capita for Kenya is about $1,700 per Korea in 1978 had a GDP per capita of 1,650. And that was the time they invested in their first nuclear power plant. And as you can see, that was about 6%. I'm not sure you're able to see the numbers, but a lot of studies in Korea have been able to demonstrate that the nuclear power program in Korea has significantly increased the GDP per capita growth. Currently, Korea is 140,000. And you can see their GDP per capita is about 34,000. So we have an opportunity in our country to be able to enhance our GDP per capita by being able to invest in nuclear. My very last slide, our CEO did speak about the key success factors for developing the nuclear power program. And this is well demonstrated here. Leadership at the national and local level is very important because there is an issue we must be able to demonstrate to the international community the commitment to the nuclear power program at all levels of government, and this must be consistent. Again, robust and continuous stakeholder engagement. I'm very happy to see the great numbers of the Siaya people here. We need to have a continuous discussion. We will be here to listen to your concerns, to answer your questions, and to be able to demonstrate the great benefit this program presents. Again, adequate program funding and the project funding is critical. We have our principles here, and so as we continue to develop this program,
hiyo basi wacha tukianza nafinya tu start on my side huko basi hivyo.
Our nuclear power program
Sasa bado hawajafika
national approach, and we will ensure that all international requirements are met in the program. And finally, international collaboration and support is very important because this is a program that must be done collaboratively for efficiency and also to learn from those countries that have already gone ahead of us. With that, I want to thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Winnie and Engineer Ohaga. We want to request our CEO to take over, but if you need any more information, please visit www.nuclear.co.ke. you'll get more information about the program from there. Thank you.
Yeah, Your Excellency, I wanted to showcase the great talent that is in UPEA. But I want to assure you that this is just a tip of the iceberg. We have very many Kenyans who have gone to China, Korea, to learn nuclear engineering and how to manage nuclear projects. And currently we can boast of about more than 100, but we need about 300 to be able to run. My predecessor, Engineer Collins Juma, is also another nuclear engineer, and many, many more. Your Excellency, we appreciate that we are short of time, and Waziri has given me clear instructions that we shall organize stakeholder engagement with the people of Siaya and the people of Kenya at large, because a nuclear program, even if it's in one location, you have to engage all the Kenyans. Waziri has given me very clear instructions that we must do proper stakeholder engagement to get the necessary buy-in so that we can have the community understand about the project. So we'll have many, many meetings with the people of Siaya and the people of Kenya to try and explain these issues so that we can demystify nuclear. But to go forward now, I want to invite our chairman, and so that we can catch up with time. Once the chairman has finished, we'll request the speaker of the Siaya Assembly to come and say hello and recognize the leadership of the Siaya Assembly, and then we'll have the local member of Parliament to come and say hello and recognize his colleagues, and after that we'll have the Senator of Siaya, Honorable Odinga, to make his remarks, who is also the chair of the Energy Committee in the Senate. And after that, we will give it to the PS, who will take the program from there to introduce the Cabinet Secretary and other officials that will speak after that before the chief guest gives his remarks. Thank you very much. Chairman.
Thank you all very much. My name is Larry Gumbe. The Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, our Cabinet Secretary, Opiyo Wandayi, Senator Oburu Oginga, the Chair of Energy in Senate, my colleagues at NUPEA and in the ministry, ladies and gentlemen, I am members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here today, and I want to express my gratitude to the Siaya County leadership for welcoming us. Let me take this opportunity to recognize the members of the board of NUPEA. Please stand up so that you may be recognized. Yeah, you can see them there. Thank you very much. My colleagues have given very good technical data on nuclear power. But why do we need nuclear energy in Kenya? Let us look at some statistics. Electricity consumption is measured in kilowatt hours per capita. Electricity consumption is also an indicator of the development of a country in the world. The highest country in terms of electricity consumption in the world is Norway at 24,000 kilowatt hours per capita, followed by Qatar at 17,000 kilowatts per capita, followed by the United States at Qatar is 17,000, United States 14,000. All these countries we want to emulate, like Korea, Japan, and so on, the industrialized countries, their consumption is between 3,000 and 7,000 kilowatt hours per capita. In Africa, typically, and in Kenya specifically, our consumption is 160. So if we want to be a Vision 2030 country, go there, we need to produce almost 20 times what we are producing at the moment. Therefore, there is scope for producing more power. Hydroelectricity power, we are currently producing about 800 megawatts. I'm told we can produce another maybe 3,000. In geothermal, we are producing about, what, 1,000 something? And we can produce maybe another 4,000. Now, where we want to go is about 60,000. So there's a lot of scope for all energy types in Kenya. Nuclear power, as they said, is very stable. It lasts 100 years, but it's also a base load. The base load is the load is very, very, very stable. If you have solar power, for instance, at night there's no sun, so you are not producing any solar power. Wind is also intermittent. Therefore, there's a lot of scope for that. And at Nupea, we are very happy and glad to be here. And we are happy the welcome we have got from the Siaya County government, because we will need to work together if we are going to realize this project in terms of stakeholder engagement, in terms of project implementation. So we are very excited that we have got this welcome, and we hope we'll work with the county government. Again, yesterday we had very fruitful engagements with the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, and we know that they are committed. They gave us their commitment, and we hope that we will sign an MOU as a way of developing with them so that we can develop nuclear programs here to develop the human resources my technical colleagues had told you, and also to do research here. So we are excited about that, and I am very excited that we are going to have a keynote address today by the father of nuclear power in Kenya, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. When he became Minister of Energy, he championed it way back in 2001. When we worked with him in politics, his political party produced a position paper on energy and nuclear power. And then the establishment of the board, which was preceded us, was also his work. So thank you very much, Baba, and we hope that you will convince the political class to give us very strong backing. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, with those few words, it's now my pleasure to invite the Honorable Okode, Speaker, to come and address us and persuade his colleagues.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet Secretary, the PS, Senator, the elected leaders, and allow me to ride on the protocols established in the interest of time. Today was not a day of speeches for us. Ours was to come here, listen, learn, internalize, then disseminate from a point of information. We have listened, we are internalizing, and will continue to internalize and disseminate. The presenter there before me talked about the success of this program being the positioning of the national and that they extend by county government. Arising from that, allow me just to introduce agencies or arms of the county government, because this collaboration was equally extended to the county government. I have members of the county assembly. There are so many, and I may not mention them by name. I have been guided duly to save on time. At the same time, I want the conveners to know that all wards within the county have been invited. I will therefore be asking you to stand up in groups of 2 sub-counties. And I start. Ugunja and Ugenya MCAs will be upstanding. Will you help me recognize them? Thank you very much for coming. Game and Alego, would you be upstanding for recognition? Thank you very much for coming. We have Bondo and Rarieda. Thank you very much for coming. That group of MCAs includes nominated members who are women, the youth, disabled, and elected leaders. So in your engagement reports, you will not have just consulted the county assembly. You will have consulted that wide range. Siaya County government comprises of the executive, the assembly, and the board. Allow me to introduce members of the County Public Service Board who are here. If you are there, will you be upstanding? Yes, we have Engineer Collins. He's the Pioneer CEO. Thank you. We also have municipalities and the towns. If you are here, members of the Board of Municipalities, will you be upstanding? Thank you very much for coming. We have members of the executive. Are you there? We have Kut there. We have all these members of the executive. Will we clap for them? I don't want to go beyond that. Mine is just to give a commitment, Buenos Aires, that indeed, as Siaya County government, we have boarded, we are on board. At this point of information imparting, at the point of implementation. And in any case, even if we did not want to board, where Baba is the vision bearer, we are compelled to board. We are on board. Finally, Your Excellency, the governor of this county, great county, is not with us here for reasons that he could not control, and he has asked me, much as he has sent somebody to represent him, to welcome everyone that is here, and he has sent warm greetings to all of you and wishing you good deliberations. Siaya is on board. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, I want to ride on the protocols that were established. And I want to welcome all of you to Bondo. It's a great day, it's a great occasion. Matters nuclear, Your Excellency, are not matters of regular topics. These are topics that are hardly discussed, and many people either shy away from them or simply stay away because sometimes they are too technical to be understood. We are well aware in terms of our energy needs in the country, but some of these things require, and I want to believe that Nupea, the work is cut out for you, that what you've given us here today is a tip. You are yet to do more. Because for assuming that you have a site in Bond or somewhere in a village, for that village, for that community, around where the site is going to be, requires a lot more information and education. A lot more. So as we live here today, I think we need to come up with a very serious program in terms of stepping down this technical stuff to somebody in the village to understand. Somebody in the village to understand. And some of these could be very simple. If you only took the information, there was a slide that Odinga presented about Africa. If that alone may help in a big way for our people to understand. What I'm trying to say is that if we keep Korea, China, and those different far-off countries for purpose of us understanding what goes on, Africa will be the best for a villager here to understand. Tell us, show us what's happening in South Africa. Show us what's happening in the rest of Africa. Then we'll start getting some confidence. What is critical here is confidence building, because negatives travel much more faster. Information about nuclear There's a lot of it that is good, but that is good is not known. What is so much out are the negatives. So I want to believe that from here, we start going out to the public, the communities, with not just the issue of advantages, but even understanding what it is and how does it work for our people to understand it. I think that's what I can say at the moment. Let me take that chance now to welcome I think I've also seen former members of parliament in our midst. I've seen Raphael Tuju here. Raphael Tuju is with us here. I've seen our former member of parliament, Murathe. Murathe is here, karibu sana. But for purposes of those, my colleagues from Siaya, let me call on you, maybe say a word or two as you introduce yourself. Let me start with Honorable Otiende.
Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Ministers, all protocols observed. My name is Otiende Molo, the current Member of Parliament for Rarieda. As I understand it, we are here for two reasons. The first is nuclear stakeholder engagement and enlightenment. I think we have been thoroughly enlightened and we will continue engaging. The second is validation and acceptance. And validation and acceptance is so important because there are parts where, like in Kilifi, they have issues because of non-acceptance. In our case, I understand from NUPEA that they've identified a site around Wandayi. As the elected member of parliament for Rarieda, I can convey that we fully accept, even though we will continue engaging. My only request to NUPEA is the Constitution says that where you are exploiting natural resources, there must be benefit to the community. In this county, our benefit is usually education. Give us scholarships. Let us have nuclear scientists and others from this engagement. Thank you very much.
Christine Ombaka, Dr. Christine Ombaka.
Your Excellency, the Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, and everybody who's here, I just want to say that we are happy with coming here today to listen to what has been presented. Nuclear power. This is a language that is associated with the first world countries. Never heard of it in Africa or in Kenya in particular. And so it's new to us. But the good thing that you have done is that you have brought it to the doorsteps of a nuclear power engineer, Dr. and Engineer Raila Amolo Odinga. It's at his doorstep. We always say politically that when Baba tells you it is left, we go left. If it's right, we go right. So you have brought it to the doorsteps of a specialist, somebody whose words we listen to. Lastly, I'm a social scientist, researcher, a teacher and a researcher. In research, especially in social science, there is always the issue of myths and misconception on new things such as nuclear power or other problems that affect the public. Explore the myths and misconceptions that may deter your progress. I think it may be a good progress that you've done, and you have a lot to tell us. The benefits that have been listed here are wonderful. But at the bottom line, education is important to the public, and explore the myths and misconceptions that may make your work a little difficult. Thank you, and God bless.
Honorable David Ochieng.
Thank you. We are pressed for time. Prime Minister, sir, protocols observed. Your Excellency, I believe that science has grown, and science has shown us that the human life and what we can achieve is limitless. We have gone to the moon and back. We now treat cancer like another disease. And I believe that nuclear power will be good for our people. The only thing that I want to request the nuclear and all concerned in this, the biggest issue about nuclear is the safety. Once you can assure people that they're going to be safe, they're going to be fine, and Waziri, what you must do in this is that we must develop proper regulatory capacity. You must develop proper standards capacity to ensure that whatever we're going to be doing is regimented to a level where we remove any doubts about what could happen to us and to people in Siaya and the country at large. I look forward to people coming to Siaya to see the first nuclear plant in East Africa as they come to explore the lake. Godspeed, and thank you so much.
Yeah, Honorable Tandi was here, brought his physical apology, and he had to run somewhere. So I want to believe that we are fairly full house as members of parliament from this county. Now, I want to bring on Honorable Dr. Buru. Your Excellency, you know, in as much as we are talking about the negatives, when your foot is forward, and when Waziri Wandayi is, well, fast food is also forward, and Honorable Dr. Buru's feet also forward, I want to believe we can't go wrong. We can't go wrong. Dr. Buru, chairs. Oh, Dr. Buru chairs also Energy Committee. And all that we are talking about here are matters energy. We want to believe we are in safe hands. Dr. Buru, this is the assurance that we need from you, that we are in safe hands, and we want to trust you that you are taking us to a direction that will be important to this country. Elisha has also sent an apology. He's been out of the country, but we need to recognize that he's in this. So, asanteni sana, Dr. Buru.
Thank you. Honorable Prime Minister and Waziri CS, Energy, Wandayi, and all protocols observed. I will also follow the same pattern. And I have two Kofias here. One is Senator of Siaya County. The other one is Chairman of Energy Committee of the Senate. And as Senator for Siaya County, I would like to say this is a very welcome project. And I'm talking from the inside because I'm there as the chair, and this is a project which we have welcomed as a committee. Now, as the chair of Energy Committee, I was sent here by a small, just to read to you a small speech on behalf of the Committee of Energy of Parliament. So this is now official, not as senator. Yes. So it is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you as the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Energy and Senator for Siaya County. Indeed, it is a great honor to be part of this historic occasion of the official launch of the nuclear site here in Siaya. Today marks an important milestone in Kenya's journey towards energy security, economic prosperity, and technological advancement. The decision to embark on nuclear energy is not one taken lightly. It is the result of rigorous research, extensive consultations, and a steadfast commitment to securing our nation's energy future. Nuclear energy stands out as safe, efficient, and environmentally responsible source of power. It offers us the unique advantage of generating large quantities of electricity with minimum carbon emission, thereby aligning with our national and international commitment to combat climate change. Nuclear power is reinforced by a legal and regulatory framework, is guided by our national nuclear energy policy of 2022 and informed by rigorous environmental and social assessments. Furthermore, Kenya is currently in phase 2 of the International Atomic Energy Agency milestone approach, demonstrating the commitment to international best practices and safety standards. Nuclear energy stands as a foundation in our national agenda for sustainable development. It offers a reliable, low carbon source of electricity, which is essential for empowering our industries, supporting our digital economy, and meeting the growing demands of our urban and rural communities. By integrating nuclear power into our energy mix, we will reduce our dependence on independent power producers who depend on expensive imported fossil fuels and shield our economy from volatile global energy markets. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to read the whole speech. I'll give a copy to our guest of honor and also to our minister for record purposes. But I just want to conclude by saying that this project is very remarkable, and it is a visionary project. It's a project which was envisioned by our great leader, Honorable Raila Odinga, when he was Minister of Energy, and we, as a Committee of Energy, we support it, and we want the people of Siaya to be fully engaged in the campaigns to have this nuclear project established here. And we would like, personally, I would like to express my frustration that this is pushed to 2034, which is 9 years from now. I don't know whether I will be there, but it is. I wish it was coming a little earlier than that 2034, but be that as it may, science takes its own pace, and we cannot dictate the pace. But I hope if there is more investment, perhaps it could be enhanced and quickened to be implemented much earlier and faster than 2034. With those remarks, I want to thank all of you for listening to me as the chairman of the Energy Committee. Thank you very much.
I didn't realize I was getting back here again, but I'm back for a very simple thing. We are dealing matters energy. We have our PS, State Department for Energy, Alex Wachira. So come over and pick the program from there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chanda. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, Your Excellency Raila Odinga, my Cabinet Secretary. I hear him when you are around here. I hear you call him intellectual. Intellectual James Wandayi, Senator for Siaya and our chair in the Energy Committee, Dr. Oburu Odinga, members of Parliament present, Speaker of the County Assembly of Siaya, my CEO and chair in NUPEA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Mine is very simple. It's just to continue the program from where we are. But before I make remarks, this great county has a governor, and the governor is none other than James Aggrey Bob Orengo, and I believe our former CEO, Collins Juma. You want to make a few remarks on his behalf? Just a minute before I continue? Kindly. Let us give a round of applause to Collins.
Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, I stand here on behalf of the Governor of the great county of Siaya, who has sent his greetings and apology. He really wanted to be here, but for reasons that he could not control, as the Speaker said, he's not able to attend. But he sent me with the following points. First, he said he appreciates the presence of Your Excellency. Secondly, he told me to thank the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum for choosing Siaya through a study to be one of the candidates of the sites of the first nuclear power plant in Kenya. He also sent me to tell you that he was in Vienna a couple of weeks ago on an engagement with the International Atomic Energy Agency and alongside the governors of Kwale and Kilifi, and they had a fruitful discussion on the benefits of nuclear power. Apart from energy, they discussed issues to do with water. I think it's been mentioned here. Industrial application like in NDT testing, and in health in terms of cancer treatment using the medical isotopes, which are thematic areas that can greatly improve the lives of the people of Siaya. And he said that he got a buy-in, but he said that the confidence level of the common Mwananchi is still low, and that should be addressed by NUPEA and the ministry so that we can have a buy-in of everyone, because that's how nuclear works around the world. And lastly, he told me to ask the people of Siaya to listen keenly and ask questions about nuclear and its application. Thank you very much. And I want to add my own. Right Honorable, you'll allow me, we've gone through this journey with you. I get the concerns like Honorable Chanda and David Ochieng have expressed, but I want to say that as the founding Chief Executive Officer of Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, nuclear power energy follows the path of aviation. And I always say that they follow the distribution curve called Poisson distribution curve. The probability of an accident is very, very low. But the impact of that very low probability can be very high. In the current fourth generation reactors being deployed around the world have enough safety measures to mitigate on what has happened before. And I want to urge our people that we embrace the technology and we move forward with the nuclear power program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Collins, because what you have done on behalf of our CS is to answer the question that was posed by Honorable David Ochieng in regard to safety of nuclear. I hope that the question is well answered. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Today is a great honor for me to speak before you. Indeed, speaking before a nuclear scientist, a nuclear engineer, today I am preaching to the converted, I'm preaching to the choir. Your Excellency, let me give you just one simple story. 2 years ago, when Collins was the CEO of nuclear power, we headed to Kilifi, and we had a little bit of challenges and difficulties engaging the good people of Kilifi. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I am feeling very happy because with the Right Honorable Prime Minister, with the leadership of the county of Siaya, we have a buy-in, and so therefore, nuclear power is here with us. Your Excellency, last week on Friday, you did speak to us at the National Convention, the third National Retreat. And during the National Retreat, you did post to us and you told us that we cannot industrialize with 3,000 megawatts, because that is what we have as build capacity in the country. Today, Your Excellency, we are here to discuss an issue of when. And I like the question that was posed by the Senator for Siaya, Dr. Odinga. Your Excellency, when we came into the ministry, the issue of nuclear power was posed at 2038. For us to address the issue of industrialization and create opportunities for these young men who are in this university that we are producing year on year, we have to industrialize. And that is why we brought the nuclear power to 2034. And Your Excellency, today, you have challenged us. You have told us that we cannot afford to come to 2034. With your blessings and those blessings of His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, I believe we can have it in 2032, latest, earliest 2030. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Your Excellency, I want to assure you of only one thing. You gave us a man who is dedicated. We have a lot of work to do to make it possible to ensure that we have nuclear power here, to ensure that nuclear power is not just a dream, the dream that you had in 2001 when you started nuclear power, but we make it a reality. And we want to assure you that we shall not drop the ball. For us is to have only one ask, and the ask is, let us engage in constructive dialogue, open dialogue, let us ask questions, and we shall be there to answer. Last but not least, we have Honorable Otiende Amolo, we have Honorable Sam Matandi. Sam Matandi is our chair, Budget and Appropriation Committee. For us to achieve what we want to achieve, we have to ensure that nuclear power is adequately funded for community engagement. And because we also have Honorable John Badi as our Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, with Sam Matandi and our own minister, we believe that that is going to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, those few remarks, allow me to now welcome our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable James Opio Wandayi, to come and make his remarks and invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister to address us. Thank you. Karibu sana waziri.
Asante sana, Bwana PS. Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, all protocol observed. First and foremost, allow me, Your Excellency, to thank you very, very sincerely for graciously accepting to be part of this historic event. Your Excellency, when I wrote to you about a week and a half ago, I didn't even call you. I just wrote to you a letter inviting you. Within a matter of 7 or 8 hours, my office called me that the Prime Minister's office has called back and he has accepted to be part of this event. You did not hesitate. And that is a testament to the importance that you attach to this vital program, Your Excellency. And therefore, as a ministry,
we remain eternally grateful to you. Indeed, as a government in entirety, we remain very, very grateful to you for your magnanimity. Your Excellency, let me just go through some few notes here in 5 or less than 5 minutes, actually 3 minutes. Your Excellency, the government of the Republic of Kenya, under the leadership of His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is fully committed to the realization of the vision that you share, Your Excellency, of a robust and sustainable energy future for Kenya. Nuclear energy, as has been indicated earlier on, has been identified in the Least Cost Power Development Plan as the essential baseload power source to underpin our industrialization agenda and to deliver on the Vision 2030. Your Excellency, Kenya remains steadfastly committed to implementing its nuclear power program while adhering to the highest possible international standards. Through the committed guidance of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Kenya has made significant and demonstrable steps towards the safe, secure, and sustainable implementation of its first nuclear power plant that I am proud today to say that is going to be situated here in Siaya County. Siaya County, Your Excellency. Today, Kenya is actively progressing through the phase 2 of implementation based on the IAEA milestone approach, aiming to commission the first nuclear power plant now with your guidance by the year 2030. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me, before I invite Baba, to say that the development of a nuclear power plant is a shared national endeavor. It demands foresight, collaboration, and a collective commitment. Let us embrace this opportunity as a people to build a resilient, energy secure, and prosperous Kenya. Let us partner for a sustainable energy future, not just for us, but for generations to come. Your Excellency, it is now my singular honor and distinct privilege to invite you, Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, to now deliver your keynote address and to share your insights and vision for this transformative national undertaking. Let us all be upstanding as we usher in Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Asante sana. Karibu.
Thank you. Hiya. You may be seated. Thank you, Waziri. Honorable members of Parliament, members of the ministry, and all the visitors who have come here. Hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Yeah, I'm very delighted to have an opportunity to come and talk to you here at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. The minister wrote to me, inviting me to come. And my office told me the letters come here from the minister, inviting you to a conference on nuclear energy in Bondo. I said to confirm immediately that I will come. This is because of the passion with which I actually confront this subject here. And this is because of experiences that I've had before. When I was the Prime Minister, I went to visit France. And then I met with the Minister for, they called it Energy and High Seas in Paris, Monsieur Ballot. And during the course of conversations, he told me, you know, Mr. Odinga, Africa is a dark continent. Dark continent? I said, yes, it's a dark continent. You know, I thought we had already left this idea of Africa being dark. He said, no, I will show you that Africa is a dark continent. So then he went and brought something like an atlas, a book, and he opened it. And he showed me, this is the satellite map of Europe, from how New York looked at night from the satellite. And you could see the European city, all lit all over, right from the English Channel through France all the way to Russia. Then he went and opened another page, Africa. This is how what Africa looks like at night from the satellite. Now there's a big contrast. There were some little lights down south, southern Africa. And then up around Egypt, somewhere there you could see some lights. The rest of the continent was just dark. He said, this is what's happening. Africa is the dark at night. It means that while Europe is busy working at night, Africa is asleep, working in the other direction. No wonder the population is so big in Africa. So I said that this is a challenge, and there is really no response to this rather than to ensure that Africa is lit, that Africa can also be working at night the way Europe is working. That's one of the reasons. But I will talk about my other experience later. I have some notes here that I want to refer to. And I'm pleased to join you today for a discussion on a subject that is extremely critical to the future progress of our country. There can be no doubt that diversifying our energy sources and maintaining a clean environment are critical to our development agenda as a nation. Part of the reason this country has not been able to generate and sustain well-paying jobs is the cost of energy. A number of nations, including here in Africa, have reached the decision that the use of nuclear energy to generate electricity is one of the cornerstones of sustainable development. Remember, there had been kind of resentment of opposition after the Chernobyl accident, but that has actually changed right now. In the age of climate change, nuclear is accepted as one of the clean energy sources that is free of carbon emissions. In fact, the UN has identified nuclear energy and nuclear technology as key to addressing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The Kenya Nuclear Power Program that this forum has convened to discuss is therefore in tune with the developments around us. Developing new, clean, and low-carbon energy sources has become a priority for governments across Africa and the world over, and Kenya cannot afford to be left behind. I have had the privilege of serving this country as a Minister for Energy, and I can state without any fear of contradiction that we need to urgently develop additional complementary sources of electricity to meet the future demand projections and to provide a reliable, affordable, and clean energy to actualize the country's development agenda. Back in 2008, the National Social and Economic Council, which I co-chaired with President Kibaki, agreed that as a country, we have to begin investing in technologies that can provide consistent, clean, and sustainable energy to drive our factories, light our homes, and power our innovations. The National Nuclear Power Program was conceived then as an absolute necessity for our nation's industrial takeoff. It is my understanding that since then, and in line with the international best practices, Kenya has been following the International Atomic Energy Agency's guideline on the implementation of the nuclear power program. We commend the IAEA for supporting our quest for a peaceful application of nuclear science and technology as part of our Vision 2030 plans. In its pursuit of nuclear energy goals, I wish to encourage the government to pursue partnerships with the nuclear advanced countries and ensure that our program meets the highest standards of safety, security, and non-proliferation. Such collaborations are vital for capacity building and ensuring that our program benefits from global expertise and oversight. Our program must pay maximum attention to the safety and security of our people, property, and our environment. The program has to adhere to the global standards in every aspect, from construction to decommissioning. It meets international requirements and best practices. Site selection for a nuclear power plant is critical. The identification of Lake Victoria region as a candidate to host for the nuclear power plant is a recognition of its unique strategic advantages. It is important that there is a genuine and detailed engagement with the people, and this is one of them, the leaders and all stakeholders, and have all concerns raised and addressed. And I've seen some of them begin to raise some of the concerns. I therefore urge you all, especially our local leaders and community members, to engage actively in this dialogue. Ask the tough questions, demand clarity by ensuring any concerns you have are addressed, and work with the government and the experts. Let me reiterate that if successfully executed, nuclear power will be a game changer in the socio-economic development of our countries and our counties and the country at large. It represents a monumental step towards energy security, industrialization, and sustainable growth. I just want to tell you people, when I was Minister for Energy, and I suggested that we should go nuclear, I did not expect the kind of reaction. I received a very negative reaction from people who were themselves ignorant. Oh, Raila is talking about bringing nuclear energy here. You want to bring nuclear bombs. You don't want bombs here. We are a peaceful country. I say there's what is called peaceful use of nuclear energy. And this is accepted worldwide. Most countries actually are nuclear. France, for example, has 80% of France's nuclear energy is nuclear. And many other countries, there was times when there were accidents, because there was an accident in Japan, remember during what do you call it? And then there was Chernobyl in Russia. But those were the only cases of accidents. Accidents are accidents. Anything can happen. We've seen planes crashing with hundreds of people. So this is an accident like any other accident. But nuclear energy is the safest source of energy. As an engineering student, in 1967, we were taken to a nuclear plant in Germany. And we toured the nuclear plant, and we were taught about everything about nuclear. So that's why I don't fear nuclear, because I've been right into the nuclear reactor itself. And I know that it is safe. The safety measures taken are very high, high standards. And, but I've also said at that time, I remember one time when I was launching my campaign, I talked of 3 things that will help us to catapult this country to where it should be. I said, number 1, infrastructure. Number 2, infrastructure. Number 3, now energy is one of infrastructures. Infrastructure is not just roads. Infrastructure is many things. Energy is a very important infrastructure. And you look at the development of a country on the basis of how much electricity is being consumed per capita. And ours is very low in this country, indeed. And what are the other sources that we have? There's geothermal, there is hydro, there is solar, there is wind, and that is all. And all of them have got limitations. Solar is coming up, but it's not yet reached where it should reach. And there are times when you don't have enough solar. You need to invest in storage. The wind is periodical, but then thermal is actually polluting and causing the emission of carbons into the environment, which is contributing to global warming. So we have, the only option is nuclear. And right now, for example, our total generation capacity is just about 3,400 megawatts. That is peanuts. When I was a student studying in Germany's city of Magdeburg, which was a heavy industry city, the consumption of power in the city of Magdeburg was higher than the whole of East African countries together, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. Just one city alone in Europe, you see? So energy is so important. What we are actually generating here is peanuts. But we could have gone much further, faster. Look at a country like Vietnam. Those of you who are alive before 1975 heard of what happened in Vietnam. We were born when the war in Vietnam was going on. And it went on until 1975. Each day there were reports of bombs thrown in Vietnam. Bombs, people thought all the Vietnamese would have been dead. But then the war ended in 1975. Kenya was independent. Vietnam went straight on to reconstruct their country and developing their country. Today, Vietnam has overtaken Kenya. The population of Vietnam now is nearly 90 million people. But they generate 70,000 megawatts of power in Vietnam, as we are 3,400. And look at Korea, the same thing. Korea and Kenya are mentioned to the government officers last week. And Ghana were at par in terms of development, industrialization, literacy levels, per capita income, levels of poverty, and so on. But now, 62 years down the road, Vietnam's economy, Korea's economy is more than 40% bigger than that of Kenya. Korea has moved from a third world to a first world. So we are behind. We need to leapfrog. We need to move faster. So it's not just a question of a nuclear plant here. And they've been telling me, they think about 1,000 megawatts, 2,000 megawatts. I'm saying let's just start with 5,000 megawatts. And then also, if you start with 5,000, ensure that there's proper safety. But I've also said they're talking of starting in 1934. There's no reason why we should start in 1934. If we have made a decision now, we begin to order straight away, because it takes time to manufacture. And this manufacturing will be going on, it will take 2 years, maximum 3 years. It will be ready. I've visited a plant in China, in Korea, where they are manufacturing nuclear plants. And you can see you've got an order here from this country, you've got an order from Malaysia, you've got an order from India, you've got an order for this. They're all busy manufacturing. Let there be also an order for Kenya there, so that you can start and aim at Vision 2030. Vision 2030, let us have a plant working. That should be our aim as a country. And I think it can be done. We must say Kenya must be able to chase its peers and reach there. Don't continue to compare Kenya with the worst. That, we are an island of prosperity in a sea of turmoil. Don't compare yourself with the worst. Compare Kenyans with the best, because they are capable of obtaining the best. They say in the land of the blind, one-eyed man is a king. So that's why Kenya says a king, because all the others are blind. No, don't compare us with failed states. Compare us with the best. You are capable of obtaining the best. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Excellency. May we accord His Excellency a standing ovation for those great words of wisdom. Makofi. Moja, mbili, tatu. Asante Baba kwa hekima. May we remain standing for the national anthem of the Republic of Kenya, which will signify the end of our official engagement this afternoon. National anthem. May I request that the rest of us remain seated as His Excellency and his entourage take leave. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your time. May God's blessings be upon you now and all the days of your life.